Hi everybody, and welcome back to the tasting room. So I just got back from a little mini vacation I took down in Kentucky. Stayed over in Bardstown, and visited some distilleries. Kind of hung around the town a little bit. Just a gorgeous little small town down there in Bardstown. So I thought this video would be kind of it's my haul video. My Kentucky haul. So if that's not your thing and you're tuning in this week for a review, that's not what this video is. Feel free to tune back in next week and we'll have a review for you. But the place I was staying was actually right down the street from the one of my favorite distillers. This is it's kind of actually what I'm drinking right now. Is very Old Barton, the Barton 1792 Distillery. It's definitely I would have to say my favorite value bourbon. So the first thing I picked up was the very old. I found a large format bottle of the very Old Barton 100 proof, and not that I need more very Old Barton, but it's just very difficult to find, down around where I'm at, and I can seem to find it pretty easily up in Bardstown. So I just picked up one bottle. I wasn't greedy this time. If you remember from my haul video a couple years ago, I think I picked up 5 or 6 bottles. And the price point is just phenomenal at like $26 for a liter and a half. And then also at the very Old Barton Distillery, I picked up a couple of bottles of the Bourbon Ball cream liqueur. And my mother loves this stuff, and it's actually very good. Drinking with chilled with chocolate or something. So she'll be getting a bottle for Christmas. And I can say that because she's usually a couple weeks behind on videos at least, so she probably won't see this by Christmas. But after that, I went to another favorite distillery of mine. I went to the Willard Distillery, and Willard's also right in Bardstown. They're kind of up on a hill. Very small operation, family owned and operated. Just love that distillery. They didn't have anything new. So there was, there wasn't anything that I hadn't tried before, but I did pick up a bottle of, I didn't buy a lot on this trip, booze wise, at least by my standards. I don't know, you can be the judge of that, but I just tried to stick to things that I couldn't get around here, and although I have had this before, the Willard Family Estates Rye. I've never been able to find this anywhere but the distillery, and this has got to be one of my favorite ryes. Just a wonderful rye whiskey. So also in that same area, another joint I went to on that same day was the Heaven Hill Bourbon Heritage Center, and they have some they had a nice little tour that they did that I didn't I don't remember having a tour the last time, but they don't actually distill on site there. But they do have a number of rick houses, so walked us through a rick house, as part of the tour, and kind of told us a little bit about Heaven Hill. So, and they're another one. They have a ton of different labels. I did pick up the this is the 125 proof here, Elijah Craig Barrel Select. So, I have a little grenade here, a little barrel shaped bottle. So interested to see how that one is. I am a fan of Elijah Craig. It's another kind of a hidden gem. And then also picked up at the same joint there some Elijah Craig bourbon barrel aged coffee, because you can never have enough bourbon barrel aged anything. Anyway, the following day, I got in the car and headed out to Lawrenceburg, which is, about a 45-minute drive from Bardstown. It was nice because it's autumn, leaves are changing, you're just kind of driving. And that's when I headed over to Wild Turkey. Now, I didn't actually get any whiskey at Wild Turkey. It just wasn't anything that they had in the gift shop or around there that I couldn't get back home where I'm at. But I mean, Wild Turkey is definitely, location-wise, just my favorite one to visit, because it's just I can't even describe it. You have to go there and see the view for yourself. Just, you know, kind of right above the I don't know, I think it's the Kentucky River. There's a nice little old abandoned railroad track that goes through, and it's just a beautiful overlook. Didn't get to meet Jimmy Russell again this time, so that was a little disappointing, but I was there on a Sunday, so that's okay. But I did stop by the Woodford Reserve Distillery, and I hadn't gone to that one before. And I actually really enjoyed that tour. I learned a lot about Woodford that I didn't already know. It was, I don't know, it was very, you know, just kind of in the way that they toast their barrels, and, you know, that they ferment twice as long as anyone else. And actually, I don't know, maybe I did know this before and I forgot, but they actually triple distill, which is very rare for, you know, for a bourbon. Anyway, they didn't have any bourbon there that I hadn't had before, but they did have a Distillery Series here, barrel finished rye. So I don't know, thought I'd pick that up and give it a shot. Again, something I can't get back home, so. And then since I was in the neighborhood, I went over to the Buffalo Trace Distillery, because, I mean, it's just a huge, massive operation there. I mean, they have a ton of labels under them. But it's kind of funny because they only have, I think they only have 3 bourbon mash bills. They have a high rye, a low rye, and a wheated mash bill. And again, they've got a ton of labels under them, but, you know, I mean, you know how bourbon can vary based on, you know, how long you leave it in the barrel, where you leave it in the rick house, you know, and a number of other factors. And typically, I'm not one for unaged spirits, you know, other than maybe gin, but I did pick up their White Dog here. That's the unaged mash. This is mash 1. That's the low rye mash bill. So this is mainly corn here. But I thought this one had a very nice flavor, and I don't know, something that might be worth reviewing one day. And the last distillery I went to was Maker's Mark. Now, Maker's Mark is always doing something creative with their private select. You know, so I knew I was going to get something unique at the Maker's Distillery, and I did. And so they had out their this one was the fall 2018. I guess every year they do a fall private select, and what they do is they'll take their original Maker's Mark, and they'll open up the barrel, and they'll put different types of oak staves in there and age it for another, oh hell, I don't know, 9 weeks or so, with the different types of oak finishing staves. So this one here has 2 baked American Pure, 2 seared French Cuvée, 4 Maker's 46 staves, 1 roasted French Mocha, and 1 toasted French Spice. So, I don't know, I'm kind of excited to try this one. I mean, I'm a fan of anything fall, and I don't know, this sounds like it could be delicious. But that does it for the whiskey that I picked up while I was over in Kentucky. You know, I did pick up a couple of other knickknacks and souvenirs. You know, a little, you know, Bardstown, you know, pottery, you know, hand-shaped coffee cup. So you can never have enough coffee mugs, I guess. I don't know, I probably have too many. A nice hat from Wild Turkey. And another flask. I don't know, I guess I felt bad because I didn't buy any whiskey at Wild Turkey. And then when I was checking out the streets of Bardstown, you know, all the shops along the main drag there, you know, and all around this town they've got all this furniture made from ex-bourbon barrels, because, you know, as you know, from a you know, for a bourbon you can only use the barrel once. So, you know, a lot of the barrels they send overseas, so we can age, you know, Irish whiskey and Scotch. Some of them go to, you know, to age beer, and then a lot of them get just sold so they can get cut up and, you know, made into different types of furniture, tables, chairs, flower pots. You know, one of the more common ones you see is a coat rack. So this is a used charred barrel stave. Someone just kind of made it into a coat rack, and price was right. I think he was selling it for $30, and I don't know. I like it. So that's it. Outside of a couple other odds and ends, like, you know, shot glasses and, you know, tasting glasses and things. That was my little 3-4 day trip to Kentucky. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If not, then don't worry. We've got a review coming out next weekend. We've got all this fun new stuff to review. Subscribe if you're not already a member, and yeah, hope to see you again right here on The Tasting Room.